Good morning. I'm showing you some little Yoda books, baby Yoda books I made. This is a very small one, 5 by 5 centimeter, and this is a bit larger. It's 10 by 10 centimeter. They have the same binding, but I'll show you. This binding is a variation on the chain stitch. This binding is also a variation on the chain stitch. This one has unequal holes, and this one has equal holes. So that's the difference. It's a very nice binding. I love to make it. It's not easy, not difficult at all. So I'll tell you something about this binding. First, I want you to know that these books are made, the covers are made of Salzboard, which is a sturdy paper, made of cotton, made of rags by a Dutch windmill. And because it's made by a Dutch windmill, you can see the decal edge here. I always try to put a decal edge in my books. This is the little one. I'm going to show you first how to make this one, and then I'm going to show you how to make the big one. If you look very close, you can see little dots here. That's the wrapping. There will be little dots if you wrap them. And the little dots are here as well, of course, because I wrapped them. And I did the holes unequal because you have some more room for the little dots then, because it's such a small book. There's also Salzboard. Here's the decal edge. And we'll have a look. First, you make a template. For example, this one. You draw lines from vertical lines. This little book has 5 signatures, so there are 5 vertical lines, and then you just punch some random holes, what you like. You lay the templates on the spine, and then you punch the holes, and the sewing can begin. All these signatures has different hole patterns. And how do you make the hole patterns in the signature? I'll show you. You take a piece of paper. You lay it, for instance, against the first line. You mark the holes on this piece of paper. Punch the holes and you can make your first signature. For the second signature, you lay a piece of paper against the second line. You mark the holes and you punch the holes and you can make the second, etc. For this one, it's a bit different because these are all the same, so you can have one template for your signatures. This is the template for the spine. I already made some. I always advise, make these bindings, if you don't know them, on a piece of cardboard first. Then you know how to do it, and then you can avoid difficulties. I made this cardboard a bit bigger than the actual spine because of the tutorial. So the white piece is my template. You lay it on the spine and you punch the holes. Then you punch the signature with this template and the sewing can start. For the sewing, because I'm going to show you now, I'm using a blunt needle. It's an embroidery needle, a blunt embroidery needle, so that you don't stick into the stitches that are already there. The embroidery thread I use is Perlé number 5, which is a 1 thread embroidery thread. Unlike the other embroidery threads, which have 6 or more pieces, you'll have to split them. This one you don't have to split, it's just a one piece embroidery thread. All right, let's do it. This is my thread. Oh. First I make a sliding knot. I hope you know what that is. It goes like this. This one doesn't, you'll have to let hang loose, that one. So, and this is the sliding knot. And if I pull on this thread, the sliding knot will disappear. So here we go. Well, this is my third signature. Because this is, the dots are all on the same line, I'm using a wrapping of 3 times. For this one, I use the wrapping of 4 times. The dots are a bit bigger, but it doesn't matter because they're not on the same line. So, here we go. First hole of this section. Your sections are here. I'm going in the second hole. Back in the first hole again. Into the section with the second hole. Here are 2 threads now. I'm going into the third hole. And now the wrapping starts. 1, 2, 3. 3, sorry. Back in this hole. Go. Down to the next hole. Now you can do some wrapping. 1, 2, 3. Down to this hole. Back, right, down to the last hole. I'm going to do some wrapping again. 1, oh, 2, 3. Back in the last hole. And now I can tie off. This is the inside the signature. I tie off with a little knot. Floop. Cut it. I pull on the sliding knot so that I have a thread to tie this off as well. So, here you have the knots. And this is the inside of your signature. I'm doing one more. So I start with a sliding knot. Sliding knot, hope you can see it. I enter the 4th signature, going down into the 2nd, enter the 1st again, first hole of the 4th signature, going down to number 2. So you have 2 threads here now, going down to number 3. Now the wrapping starts. 1, 2, 3. Also, I'm sewing in that direction, so that you can freely wrap. There are no threads here in which you can get stuck. This hole down to this hole. Oh, no. And here starts the wrapping again. 1, 2, 3. Down in this hole. Down in the last hole. No. Last wrapping. 1, 2, 3. Last hole. And you can tie it off. Pull out the sliding knots and tie that off as well. So, here are the signatures. Here is the binding, and this is the inside. And you can see here's a knot and here's a knot. It all looks very neat because it doesn't have to be messy with this binding. So these were my 2 Baby Yoda books with a lovely binding called a variation on a chain stitch. So let's call it the chain stitch with wrapping.